We're going to discuss the place in your consciousness that enlightenment will fill. Everything you do or think or believe or feel or happens to you or react to or develop or understand in life is understood through this place of higher development. You will never be confused again. When you have this experience called Nirvana, illumination, enlightenment, God consciousness, it's something very simple and sweet and kind and dear and true. And you can see it in the eyes of a baby elephant, or a kitten, a puppy. Just everything is pleasant and there and understood. And we're going to move into that right now. When you've cleansed the doors of perception through meditation, prayer, which simply means sitting quietly, relaxing your breathing, relaxing the joints in your body, quieting the mind utterly, completely. And this can be done. There's no magic to it. There is a higher atmosphere of consciousness called mysticism, spirituality, the Godhead. There's an intelligence and a purity and an infinite awareness in consciousness when you are quiet. And when you are truly quiet, you understand everything, you perceive everything. You know how to deal with every circumstance. You can be under great duress and still know exactly what to do and how to do it. You can't communicate it to most people because most people in the world are lost in a kind of a hell. But when you have this higher consciousness, you know exactly your place in it and what you'll do, how long it'll take for you to transfer your consciousness out and beyond the present circumstance into, again, this plateau of peace, of kindness, wisdom, joy. It's an eternal place. In this place, there is no time. Therefore, everyone else that you know that's in that place, like my friend Whitney or Gracie, they're all simply here, always. Or my mom, or a dear friend, or my Great Dane that I lost when I was a child. They're all here forever. No one is separate. That's the whole idea in the old Bible. It's called the snare of the devil. And that's simply birth into this world. You believe you're a separate being from other people. That's the problem with the whole world. There is no separation in consciousness. There's only a wisdom, an openness, and a kindness. I say kindness is something very endearing, much more than that. And there's a depth of bearing with it that is truly mystical. You have to use a word like infinite because it's so pure, so wondrous, so good, so kind, so true that it is, you're beholden to no one, to nothing. You're just in this place. It's here. And it changes from moment to moment, like all the people or the kittens or the dogs or the great minds of eternity. They're all with you always. But you're not separate beings. The whole consciousness of the world is dropped in the first moment of illumination. And you're not enlightened and you're in the world, that the world simply does not exist. And everyone is lost and confused. And it's not, you don't hit them with a stick to wake them up. You just share these light beams and give them and teach and discorrupt them and charge them full with the charge of the soul. You can be in a circumstance, I'll use myself as an example, I can be out in public in a place and there's somebody that's worth it and they can be messing up and I can tell them exactly how they're messing up, but with such love and kindness in their heart, and they know I'm talking to them. They might be lost, maybe they lost part of their life growing up, their parents were mean or drunk or whatever, and so maybe emotionally they didn't develop in that way. Maybe psychologically, they found a way to get through things, to get by, but that part is missing. So I can address someone like that and tell them that that's what happened, and that was 40 years ago, and that doesn't matter now, and there's nothing wrong with you, and you're going to be okay. So that's an example of when you have this illumination experience, you can deal with the crazy situations that happen during the day and night and the late hours in the morning. You can deal with anything. You're not lost in any circumstance. It's preferable for you always to be alone, sitting back in your chair and just drifting off under the endless and the kindness of that which we have called God, which is endlessly more pure and delicate, wise and friendly and decent and empowering and protective and friendly than anyone can imagine. But when you have this experience called illumination, you grasp that. And as tender and kind and delicate as God is, and yet God is God, you meet God in a place of great contrition and kindness and respect, and yet friendship. It's such a delicate friendship. You're here to fix the whole world. First, you know there's nothing wrong with you. You're complete. You are your soul, which is your spirit, which is God. Simply knowing that is all you have to do. You don't need to do a certain form of this or that or the other, or even prayer, even wanting to be better, kinder, more true, more powerful, more healing, more helpful. You don't even need that. You just need to, it's like a little slipstream where you just, it's a different consciousness. The words fail. All the forms of meditation and prayer and desire and want to fix the world, it's all, there is no world. That's the illusion. It's not said lightly. You'll understand all the details, the socio-political atmosphere of the world. You'll feel the heart of every hungry person. But you'll also see them in eternity with you now. And those who will be fixed, and you can fix, you will fix. Because you can. There's nothing wrong with you. There's everything right with you. Step away from the world formed to God unformed, unconditioned. You know, we talked about a friend who's maybe didn't develop this area, that area. You got to go back beyond before birth. When I've done this all my life with people, counting back from 100 to 90, and at 90 you'll be in a place just before your birth, and traversing the experience on the way back down, you will let go of all your conditioning and all you've learned and been damaged by, and you're going to let it go and see it from the heaven that you exist in. And I've done it many countless times, and it always works. I'm saying you will do this every day from here on in for the rest of your life. You've been doing it from your eyes, if you're kind and true. You've been doing it from your heart, if you really are a part of God and an eternal presence and being. And you know that you are. And I am saying you don't have to take it anymore. And you're very powerful. But this kind of power is, you deal with it very lightly. I know I can overcome the whole world. I've never had any doubt for a second. But we're dealing with little baby deer here who don't know what day it is. And the ones whose heart is pure, you'll know them. And they'll know you. And you'll fix them. And help them. And love them. And treat them tenderly. They're yours because they're His. He's theirs. He's no different than we are. And when you traverse this whole field of experience into the unconditioned atmosphere of divine presence, then you won't mind being here another 5 or 10 or 7 or 8 years. You won't mind it. Because you know that it's over on your watch. That there be time no longer. There is a sense of time, and it's over. All you have to do is conceive of this and feel it and breathe it. You'll understand everything. You will never be confused. You'll be attacked by very venomous beings, and you'll kind of almost enjoy it. Because you'll understand that you know it has no power over you. So early on, when you do mortal combat with these deadly beings, you'll be happy about it because you're learning. My buddy Andre Sukumta, he's a ultimate fighter. He teaches in this room, kids and so forth, and he makes everyone believe in themselves. They can be the ladies that work in the court, or fighters, or kids, just little children, and they just feel they can do it. And I'm saying, as a spiritual teacher, you can do it. There's nothing you can't do spiritually. Forget all the books. There are no teachers. There are no experts in the world. The world is the illusion. All the professors, all the geniuses, the great writers and teachers, I can read them and see where it's not transferring into a higher range of being. And there are people that I love so dearly, authors or very brilliant teachers or writers or even saints. But you see where this is all going. Because you're good, because you're kind, because you're real, because you're human, because you're spiritual, because there's God, because God exists in you and through you and of you and for you forever. You don't have to go to church and pray all day, and yet I have great friends that do that, and that's perfect. You are the church. You are the Holy One. You are the healing balm for the whole world. You don't have to go outside of yourself, your own psyche. You'll feel lighter than air, like clouds. You're made of clouds, a bit gold and soft, and it will change every moment. This experience of like phantasmagorical, it's just wonderful to be you at this time, at the end of things that were, and the beginning again of that which is you. Identify with God. God will be with you. God will talk to you in a way that you expect God to talk to you, and sometimes in a voice. It's the world as it is. It's the Garden of Eden, thinking that there are two separate bodies. That's why when you fall in love, you just drift and you float off. When I see my friend Whitney, there's not two people here. We're both so selfless, it's a little sick, a little silly. But we float through this life, and we figure it out, and we do the best we can, and we're learning in a lot of areas all the same time, and that's okay. Again, there are no experts. There are those who love and care and desire the best for you, and then there are don't have to use words for them. You're not angry at them. You don't even want it to end. You just keep imbibing and breathing this higher agency of reality, this cloud-like presence. In other words, in consciousness, golden cloud-like presence of being in love with God, in love with love. And it's not an urgency or a need of love or the passion thereof. It's the quiet, that simple center in love that just breathtaking, awe-inspiring appreciation. Because what you appreciate, you become. You are love and kindness and truth and joy and wonder. You have more power than all the worlds. But because it's so powerful, you just walk through this place lightly. You tread lightly. You're very powerful. This world was over the day you were born. That's the cause, that's the reason, that's the mission. You're the instrument. This is the time. This is the place. This is the answer. You are true to God. The whole world exists to take that from you and make you question. You turn this off and just, like I say, there's no form to get there, there's no method. And I know more than anyone in the world of methods and forms because I developed so many, just seeing where it could go. And then in the end, it's just believe in God. God believes in you. There is nothing else. Doesn't matter how much butter you like in your pancakes, or coffee or tea, or vegetables, sleep, exercise, friendship or none. It doesn't matter. The thinness of your awareness slips between all things that seem to be and remains present. And eternal glory. Glory, there is no word for the joy. Words like ecstasy, glory, the happiness and spiritual consciousness. And sometime it is 1,000 universes exploding with wonder. Spiritual universes. You can't, none of these words, in the mortal mind, the material consciousness, none of these things make sense. And as soon as you step aside of this, by knowing that you are one of His, that you're sent, then you'll breathe freely for the rest of your life, and you'll do as I do. I can fix people. It's just a simple word. You don't have to get all crazy about it. If you want to spend the day on your knees in church praying, that's wonderful. Or whatever you do. We live day to day to day to day. But you just simply have to know there is a God. You're an emanation of light from God. You're a ray of light. No more, no less. And you move with a certain bearing that people might not understand, but it isn't up to them to understand. It's up to you to heal, to teach, to correct, and you have great powers. And as I say, talk to God, and God will talk to you. You'll see how different things and influences and people around you, because this is what happens in a day-to-day, are influenced by you. And it's a teaching that will take 2 or 3 years, or a month, or one moment, and you'll recognize all that's being said. And then your life will be okay. And you won't mind being here a few more years, or days, or minutes. Because to you, there is no here. There never was. Thank you, Mr. Skolta. Thank you for listening to me.